The evidence-based muscle growth experts have revealed that performing sets of anywhere between 5 to 30 reps is optimal for muscle growth.
Anything between sets of 5 and sets of 30 is just not a wrong answer.
5 to 30 reps per set is a relatively large rep range though, and might leave many of you still wondering just how many reps within that window you should be performing for each exercise. 8 to 12 reps, 15 to 20 reps, 5 to 8 reps, 20 to 30 reps? In this video, I'm going to show you my process of how I go about choosing the specific rep ranges for each of the exercises that I perform within my training program to optimize for muscle growth. I'm going to break down my decision process into 4 main criteria points and show you 3 different examples of how I choose specific rep ranges for different exercises. Choosing a rep range shouldn't be confusing. What I'm about to show you will make the decision process simple and easy for you, so you can focus your energy on doing the reps instead of worrying about if you're doing the right number of them. Let's dive in.
Buckle your seatbelt, Dorothy, because Kansas is going bye-bye.
My 4 main rep range criteria points are as follows. Does the rep range leave me feeling free of connective tissue or joint pain? If lifting a certain load at a given rep range leaves you feeling pain, then you're probably not going to have a terribly high potential to progress with that movement, which means you probably won't have the potential to build much muscle. Is the target muscle the limiting factor? If you're doing a dumbbell bench press, for example, ideally you would want your chest to be the limiting factor of the movement and not your shoulders. Does it lead to a high perceived level of tension on your target muscle? If you can feel tension on your target muscle, then there's a good chance that you're exposing it to mechanical tension, which is the primary driver for muscle growth. Do you feel satisfaction or even enjoyment from doing it? In my opinion, you'll probably get more out of the exercise if you enjoy it at least a little bit. To concretely select a rep range, it doesn't necessarily need to check off all of the criteria points outside of the first one. That one is required. It just needs to score higher than the other rep ranges you're comparing it to. Now I'll show you several examples of how I use this criteria to pick specific rep ranges. Right now I'm doing high rep sets of 20 to 25 reps for my dumbbell skull crushers. That rep range leaves my joints and connective tissue feeling great. My target muscle, my triceps, are undeniably the limiting factor of the exercise. I feel an insane amount of tension on my triceps, and I enjoy doing them. So that rep range definitely checks off all of the points on my criteria. But you might be wondering what a lower rep range might look like. Doing heavy sets of, say, 5 to 10 reps would leave my elbows feeling not so good.
My arm really hurts.
And since I would experience elbow pain relatively quickly, that elbow pain would be the limiting factor of the exercise and not my triceps. I would feel tension on my triceps, but that tension would probably be overshadowed by the feeling of elbow pain. And since moving with elbow pain sucks, I probably wouldn't enjoy that rep range very much. Okay, so what about a slightly higher rep range, like 10 to 15 reps or 15 to 20 reps? Although I probably wouldn't run into elbow pain as quickly from doing sets of 10 to 15 compared to 5 to 10 reps, since my elbows are a bit of a sensitive area for me, they probably would start to feel aggravated not too long after starting progressing with that rep range. 15 to 20 reps might actually be great though. I'm currently doing 20 to 25 rep sets over 15 to 20 rep sets purely because they're just slightly more enjoyable right now. It's just out of personal preference. It's that simple. Both would probably work great. For the leg press, I've been cycling through sets of 12 to 18 reps and 18 to 25 reps. Both of those rep ranges check off all of the points on my criteria. So why would I cycle between 2 of them? After I progress in load for weeks or months with either rep range, eventually I'll start to truly hit a plateau. Either eventually I'll get to a point where my joints or connective tissue start to feel beat up, or I'll just genuinely not have it in me to keep progressing. Once I hit a genuine plateau point, I'll simply adjust the load and rotate to the alternate rep range. Again, since both rep ranges check off all of the criteria points, they both work great. So what about sets of 12 reps or less? I would rank them a little bit less than sets of above 12 reps, since they would be at least a little bit riskier as far as developing pain goes. And although they definitely would leave me feeling tension on my quads doing those lower rep ranges, I simply prefer the feeling of tension doing the higher rep ranges instead. Though they aren't currently on my program, I'm going to show you how I would decide the rep range for barbell back squats. I would probably opt to do them on the lower end of the rep range spectrum, say somewhere between 5 to 12 reps per set. Here's why I would prefer not to do a rep range higher than that. Although doing sets of over 12 reps with good technique would lead to a pretty low risk of connective tissue pain or injury, they probably would leave either my cardiovascular system or my core as being the limiting factor of the exercise and not my quads. Doing heavier sets on the lower rep range spectrum, somewhere between 5 to 12 reps, might be a little bit riskier when it comes to developing pain, but if my technique is good, then the risk of developing pain would still probably be pretty low. Even though my core would be close to being the limiting factor of the movement in that context, my quads would probably end up winning that one. And my cardiovascular system would no longer be a contender at all of being the limiting factor. Admittedly, I don't feel tension on my quads the same way that I do when doing an exercise like the leg press. But with those heavy, low rep sets, I do feel it just in a different way nonetheless. And from an enjoyment standpoint, the heavy, lower rep range sets of barbell back squats are just a lot of fun. It's a fun challenge, and lifting heavy weight is just, it's a great feeling. And there you have it. In summary, choosing the exact rep ranges for each of your exercises within the 5 to 30 rep window should be simple and easy. Although it's not an exact science, using the criteria that I've shared with you can help you to pick the specific rep ranges that are optimal for you to put on slabs and slabs of muscle. If you have any questions about anything in this video, please go ahead and drop your question in the comment section. I'll do the best I can to answer you. Now that we're at the end of this video, be sure to check out this one. In it, I share one of the biggest lifting mistakes that I ever made, and how fixing it led me to build significantly more muscle. Go ahead and check that video out now to make sure that you're not making the same mistake that I did. I'll see you there.